Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I want to do an update video on my little planted tanks that I'm using to grow stuff out in. Now, obviously this one's it's kind of like a textbook Walstad, if you like. Got a ton of floating plants I've put. This is Salvinia, for anyone who doesn't know, and then I've put some of this dwarf water lettuce in, and there's some Amazon frog bit, because I know there's nutrients in here, so it'll just keep them going. I've got some in other tanks, but I'm not sure how they'll do, so I'm kind of keeping some in here, reserves, you know, so if they die in the other tanks then I'm okay. I've got them in here, and then in here is Gary. I moved Gary in there, and then there's another couple of blue leopard ram's horn snails in here. There's also a couple of pond snails, but I'm not really worried about them. And then at the back, the cryptocorn undulata, it's melted back and it's starting to bust new growth. And then in front of that we've got Wendetii brown, and then we've got the dwarf sedge, which to me it doesn't look like dwarf sedge. When I used to buy dwarf sedge, it used to be about this big, and now it's like well bigger. It just seems like a different plant to me. Looks like the same plant but much bigger than what I used to get. But that's absolutely flying now. The crypt Wendetii seems to be doing all right, and the undulata's melted and it's growing leaves back. So that's this tank. It seems to be doing really well. There's little bits of algae because I'm running on this tank. I'm running lights. Let me show you one of. So I've been running light over it like this. I found it wasn't really doing much. The Hygrophila polysperma is starting to throw out loads of new growth since I put this light on, and the Liliopsis brasiliensis. Let's see if I can zoom in. There's little shoots. And let me get a little tool if I can. Let me use the back of this. So if we look like down just here at the bottom, you can see little shoots. You can see. And then like here, and just looking around, there's little shoots like here where it's starting to spread about, but it wasn't doing anything. And then I thought, you know what, I'll get some more light on it. So I've got this light, and everything seems to have exploded with growth since I put this light on it. So I've stopped misting it, to be honest, because I found it was like I was getting little bits of mold and stuff, and then as soon as I stopped misting it, it seems to go away. So it seems to be doing quite well now. But looking at it, it's going to take a long time to carpet the whole tank, but it's an experiment. So like I would like to get it wet and get it, you know, run it as a fish tank, but I'm in no rush because I'd rather get it carpeted, and then I've got a ton of Liliopsis I can mess around with, because the goal is to use all these plants in bigger tanks so we can set up bigger planted tanks. And then we'll move on to this one. So this one I just threw a load of, let's zoom back out of it, I just threw a load of Salvinia in just to balance it in case there's any excess nutrients. And then I've got this, the Halantium tenellum, I can never pronounce it, green. So that's seems to be doing all right. There was like tons of long roots. I wish I'd cut them off now. Planted it without the roots. Doesn't seem to be any melt on that, but the crypts at the back, they're going through, like they're transitioning, they're melting right back now. Which is one thing I planned for. You know, I used the molar clay as a substrate, didn't I? And I was thinking, once the crypts melt, then any nutrition, if it leaches into the water, the plant might reabsorb it and then use that energy, them nutrients, to grow new submerged leaves. So that's what I'm assuming happens. But if anything leaches into the water, then, you know, it gives this a chance to bind it, and then that should have more nutrients stored then. But I say, I've been doing that. That's ticking along nicely. I'm going to do first water change on that on Friday. And this Aquadip Plant Food Plus, I've been once a week, I've been doing water changes on this and this, and I've been dosing just like, so dose for one of these tanks should be like 2.5 mil. I think I've been dosing like 1 mil, just so, you know, just to keep the dosing levels low. But the lights are quite low, so it should balance itself out really. Shouldn't get any deficiency. And I'd say this tank's doing alright. Then these tanks, I started cleaning these out, didn't I? Because there was algae in them. And then I've got Anubias, I've got a boost there, and then I've got some flame moss at the back, and then I brought some hornwort in from outside because it's getting cold out there now, so I wanted to bring some in just in case. And then I've got more flame moss and then some more boosters here. I don't even know the names of all the boosters, I need to look them up. And then I've got 2 more boosters. I've got Bacopa Caroliniana, and I've got some 2 portions of Hookeration moss there. Now, them 2, I definitely want to do something with them 2. And then up above, we've got red root floaters, and then there's the Bacopa starting to grow up out the water. I've got some Devil's Ivy Pothos going on here, and then I've got me dwarf water lettuce there. Now, these little things, it might be a bit nutrient deficient in there, so I'll have a look. I'm thinking of doing something with them, to be honest. And then that's normal frog bit, and then that's Amazon frog bit apparently. And then I've got me peace lily here, but the leaves are yellowing, which tells me might be a bit nitrogen deficient in these tanks. But what I'm thinking of doing, maybe set one of these tanks up as like an epiphyte tank, because my goal with these tanks is just to grow stuff out that I can use in other tanks. Now, obviously I got the green jades in here. I got off Glenn from GB Shrimp. Shout out to Glenn for sorting me them out. They're definitely not going anywhere. The yellows seem to be doing all right. The population kind of expands and then contracts, and then the blues, I had a massive grow out of them, and they kind of slowly dwindled away. So, but these tanks, I'm thinking of doing like other type planted tanks, you know, with like, because they've got sand substrates in them. So what I'm thinking of doing is, you know, just keeping them low tech. But the problem, I never explained this in the video, but the problem is that light, it's on 100% all the time. If I use the timer, it's on 100%. I can't dim it down and use the timer, which is a bit of a pain. But this light here, I can dim that and use the timer. So I'm thinking about maybe getting another one of them and then replacing that. But with that one, I could put that on the bottom shelf down here. Just a bit of a mess at the moment to just store everything underneath. But what I was thinking is putting that under there and then maybe getting a tub. I could use some molar clay in the tub, the same kind of similar to how I'm running this, but with fertilizers, and then I could grow some other plants. I was thinking of getting some more crypts to grow out for the bigger tanks, because obviously crypts take a long time to grow out. So if I could grow them immersed and grow a ton out, I'd really enjoy that. And then maybe doing some epiphytes, like some of the boosters, some of the Anubias. I've got another 4 different types of Anubias in my big tank. And once I've grown all these out, I was thinking of setting up my big tanks as planted tanks, because like I can't tell you how much of a kick get out of growing plants. Like it's absurd how much I enjoy growing plants. Like I set that pond up, didn't I? I had loads of fun growing that stuff outside in the summer last year. And I was thinking of maybe getting a greenhouse, a little greenhouse. You get them second hand, don't you? Greenhouses online, like people will let you have like a 10-foot by 6-foot greenhouse off them for free as long as you come and collect, take it apart and remove it. So I was thinking of maybe doing that and then getting some tubs outside in the summer. I don't know, or some ponds. I just love growing plants, and the more plants I can grow different ways. I really enjoy this way of growing plants, to be honest. I was thinking of having a go at growing some more, maybe stems, because the Hygrophila polysperma seems to be flying in here. So yeah, I suppose I'm rambling now, but I just thought to give you an update on these tanks. I've had a couple of people ask me what's going on with them. So as I say, just to finish off, I've been feeding little bits of fish food in this tank and this tank, just like a little spoon here. Let me show you. Little spoon. I just put like a little spoon in every couple of days, let it break down, and then once a week after a water change I'll dose, because I say this to everyone who asks, I don't run my Walstad tanks like a textbook Walstad. I'll do weekly water changes and I'll dose fertilizer, like just a low dose. So like I say, with this, it recommends to dose like 2.5 mil in this much water, and I'll just dose one because I know there's nutrients in there anyway. But because there's none of the macronutrients which cause algae and water pollution, because there's none of that in this, then I can get away with pretty much dosing as much as I want without causing negative effects. I mean, I know I've got algae on this wall, which would probably go away if I turn that light off. But yeah, there's a quick update, guys. Let me know what you think.